Welcome to Turkey in English. We are heading into a new challenge, and that is, can we teach Turkish in 3 months? I'm your co-host, teacher Yasin Eken, and I will be providing uh, essential information with respect to the Turkish language. I've been in Turkey for about a decade now, and I'm joined with a number of friends that are eager to teach and learn. So I'd like to pass on to Onur, who can introduce himself.
Hi, merhaba arkadaşlar. My name is Onur. I am from Turkey and I have been in Turkey for 30 years. And Turkish is my native language. So when we were discussing about teaching Turkish in 3 months, all of us were saying challenge accepted. So we'll teach Turkish in 3 months, inshallah. So Ubeyde, would you like to add something?
My name is Obeida Hito, and you might have seen me in some of the other episodes for Turkey in English, and you should like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, and hopefully keep following the program. Everybody will get some great benefit from it. I'm an intermediate Turkish speaker. I've been here since 2012. I'm a native English speaker. I get along pretty well here in Turkey. I guess just because I speak Arabic as well, and there's a lot of like cultural similarities and even language similarities, so it's easier for me, and it has been easier for me to like adjust over the years. But I need to improve, and hopefully I will be helping Hassan Abe improve in the beginning to get to possibly where I am at, and then we'll go beyond there to proficiency. Hopefully we can do it in 3 months. If I could write a thesis and after going through this 3-month course, it would be great, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
So Hassan Abi.
Well, hello everyone, I'm Hassan Abdullah, and I'm the person who is likely to prove to be the headache for these three teachers, because I've got a very hectic schedule. I'm a journalist. I hardly get any spare time. And that's the case with these three as well. They're working journalists and they're very busy. So the challenge of learning Turkish in 3 months, a number of people have said that's impossible, but this is what we're determined to prove wrong.
And now, if I may, so the approach that we would like to take is to somewhat create an immersive environment. And the only way to do that is to ensure that the language that we use, that we speak in this classroom environment, has a target rate of around 80 or 90%. But starting off, we will keep it a little less intense until we get the basics. And then as we move forward throughout the 3 months, and I'm sure it won't take too long to reach that goal of 80, 90%, we will be picking up the pace. Things will become a lot more difficult, but I guess our main focus will be practical use of Turkish. So we won't be spending too much time on the grammar. It's not really that useful at this moment. So before we move on,
grammar in Turkish as well.
grammar is a different discussion. I'm sure we can have a different segment that just bashes grammar, and I'm sure the grammar Nazis would not necessarily approve. But moving forward, Hassan Abi, so why this sudden interest in learning Turkish? Let's start from there.
Well, it's because I've adopted Turkey, or rather you can say Turkey's adopted me. This is my home now. I've been to 48 countries, and finally I've found a country where I feel at home. I've received a lot of love and people have been very welcoming. The only hurdle has been the language. When you cannot communicate with people, so you can tell that someone is so friendly and they're willing to be so receptive and you can't communicate with them, that hurts. I've been at bus stops, I've been on dolmuş, which is like the small bus you see on the streets of Turkey.
So know some basic Turkish words? Dolmuş.
I know some, of course, I know a few basic words, but I can't construct my sentences. So for example, when I get phone calls from the bank, I'm like, do you speak English? And they're like, hayır, no. So that's where the conversation ends. So I need to be able to take those calls from the bank. I need to be able to go and order my food without any problem. I need to be able to chat up with those lovely people at the bus stop and on the buses. So 3 months, I need to be in a position where I can just go and talk to people.
Mhm.
But you know that these sessions will not be enough, right? You need to watch the videos again and again, and you need to make practice by yourself.
We'll go
Well,
into
this
the
is
supplementary aspect of it. We will provide supplementary support.
Yeah.
Sure.
well, this is where your creativity comes in. So you're basically, this is basically an experiment. There are so many courses out there on Turkish, but what we're doing is, what you guys are doing, you're really customizing it, looking at our busy schedule, full-time jobs and all this stuff, and of course the time frame, which is so small. So I think this is a very unique experiment. It's for someone to teach Turkish is not new, but what we're doing here is very different. The circumstances, the context,
Yeah.
the deadlines, and all that stuff.
If I may, so the deadline for those watching us might consider this deadline as really, really tight, and it is a tight deadline, to be fair. But let's not forget that the Turkish language is actually a lot easier than many people anticipate. So we don't want to scare anybody off. And basically, if we can teach Hassan to speak Turkish fluently in a matter of 3 months, we are more than certain that anybody can. So let's move forward. But just going over it, I just want to make sure that Hassan Abdullah is familiar with this before we move forward. So if you'd like to repeat after me, I'll start from the top. A,
A,
B,
B,
C,
C,
Ç,
Ç,
D,
D,
E,
E,
F,
F,
G,
G,
yumuşak G.
yumuşak G.
And just a quick note, the yumuşak G is how you would refer to it, but in the actual practical aspect of it, you don't need to say yumuşak G. It has a different way of making itself known. So continuing, H,
H,
I,
I,
I,
I,
J,
J,
K,
K,
L,
L,
M,
M,
N,
N,
O,
O,
Ö,
Ö,
P,
P,
R,
R,
S,
S,
Ş,
Ş,
T,
T,
U,
U,
U,
U,
as in look, U, U, U, U,
U, U, U,
Ü,
U,
V,
V,
Y,
Y,
Z.
Z.
All right, so you have a basic understanding of how they're pronounced. Would you feel more comfortable if I give examples of how these letters are
Well,
pronounced?
before you go to examples, I just want to make some points to Hassan, and it might help him later on. Okay, there's these double letters. Okay, we have them in English, but in Turkish there's like a second form of them, and they're not, all of them are not used in the same way that they're used in English. So you just want to pay close attention to these, because I have this problem. My pronunciation, for example, for the words is not always exactly the way it should be. And so people don't understand you, and people might like, they might seem rude when you're trying to explain something to them, you think that you're explaining it perfectly, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm saying the word, I'm telling you what I mean, but he's not understanding you because your pronunciation is wrong, most likely. It happens with me a lot, especially with these I's and the O's and the U's. So I'll just point that out here. You have two C's. One is the normal C, the normal looking one, and the one with the check mark underneath. The normal looking one isn't actually a C, it's a J, like we said, the hard J. All right. And the one with the check mark is a che. It's the CH, ch. All right. And then we have two G's. One is the regular G, which is g. Okay, it makes the g sound. And then the other one is like Yasin said, when you use it, it doesn't actually make any sound. It's like in Arabic, if you're familiar with Arabic, there's the medda, there's the med. And so the yumshak actually just gives the same vowel, the vowel, more length basically, and it usually comes after the a. Yeah, most likely comes after one of the other vowels, right? So then you have the I's. There's a I without a dot, okay, and it's capital in its capital form and its lowercase form. It's without a dot. It doesn't have a dot in either case. Okay?
These are crucial, by the way.
This is an I, right?
You can go from getting a compliment to getting cursed at very quickly.
So this I is basically right? It's I, and it's without a dot, and it's short or long depending on if it's capital or lowercase. The other one is E. It's almost like the E, but it's pronounced E with the dot on top, and it's got a dot every time, whether it's capital or lowercase. All right, it's E. So then the other one you have, and then here the J here is the soft J, so it's different than the C that's actually pronounced as J.
It's more like Jelibon, Gendarma,
yeah, Gendarma, exactly. So then the O's, and this is where it gets real tricky because I'm not good at this. There's two O's. The O, the first one without any dots, it's O, okay? It's a full O. O.
Onur.
And then the
Onur.
Onur.
Onur.
Yeah, it's a full O. O. And then the one with the two dots is U, I guess. You have to almost make sure you make a circle with your mouth, actually. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like the
Can
Turkish.
You give us
It's
an
like
example of a word?
yeah, the Turkish name Özge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then the next one is the S's, right? There's two S's. The first one is normal, se. The second one with the check mark is she. So you have the two, the sh and the ch, or the C that makes the ch, and this one makes the sh. And then you have the U's, and you have the U, U, and then you have the U, and then the U.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do those, man. Like those are the ones that give me the most trouble. The O's and the U's are the ones that give me the most trouble. But like I said, there's a very significant difference actually when you repeat it to yourself and you use them. You will start to recognize it yourself, and you'll be more conscious about it.
And another noticeable thing is that there's no X in the Turkish alphabet.
Yeah.
There's no X, and there's no Q.
W or Q.
There's no W or Q either. Yeah. Yeah, so you can just forget about those if you want.
Yeah, you're gonna have to forget about it.
But I have a question. How do they spell W? When they say Y, how do they spell that then?
I mean, have you ever realized when Turkish people speak English, when they pronounce words with a W, they can't necessarily pronounce it. What they do is it's kind of like a double V. Vat, vai, ver. You get me? But yeah, I mean, it's a struggle on both ends, I guess.
In Turkish, for example, we are saying W, W, W.
W.
Yeah,
Yeah,
W.
the W is actually in Turkish. It might not exist in the alphabet, but we do use it on a daily basis. Well, not necessarily daily, but like
So
it's
how do you tell a website to a Turkish person?
İşte
Let's say
www nokta dot mean
W.
nokta www nokta
WhatsApp.com.
not
.com.
WhatsApp Turkish
Nokta com.
information
.com,
point dot
.com.
com.
So, all right, if we're going to move forward, I guess I'd like to give a few examples of how each of these words would be pronounced by using English words like ah, and how this would sound when you use it in a word like al, sat. And the thing about Turkish, what makes it really easy is it's pronounced, it's spoken the way it's written.
Yeah.
You don't have rules or exceptions where you're like, oh crap, man. You know, I wonder what this word means or how it's pronounced. So, for example, with um, a Turkish example would
I
be.
think you should show at the beginning, middle, and at the end. It doesn't change, but
I
some
mean,
speakers.
we can give a couple examples, maybe
Yeah.
a few examples for different
Anahtar.
users.
Anahtar.
Anahtar, yeah.
I can help you with examples. So that's
Nahtar. So the A never really changes here.
Yeah. I think
So
you write the translation of it.
it means key.
E.
I'll tell you what, we can. I don't necessarily want to go into too much detail about translations because you don't really learn.
Yeah,
There's a difference between learning
Yeah, but
or
people
memorizing.
can learn the words. They need
yeah,
to know
for
what the
example,
words
if
mean, man.
Alright.
5
They
or
need
10 people learn with this session, that's a good thing.
All
Yeah,
right.
they need to know the word mean. Anahtar is key. Now go to B. Let's pick a word for B.
Um, all right. But what basically like the English, I guess, equivalent to the A in the Turkish language would be something like up, right?
No,
Going up. Anahtar, al, as.
I
It's
get.
coming up.
In terms of like the way it's pronounced, yeah.
And the way it's pronounced. So B. Guys, bilgi, which is knowledge, right?
Yeah.
B.
Bilgi. The B is practically easy. It's like any B. There's really no hidden secret here. So book, bus, right? So this is where it gets interesting. The C, the J, right? Cimri, stingy.
Yeah. No need to introduce yourself, man. You already did that.
Yo, if you want to get funny, I'll get funny with you, man.
Yeah, in
Don't need to
English
do
it's like jump, you know?
Jim.
Gym, yeah, just gym. It's the same kind of G. J, yeah.
Çankırı.
Yeah, don't give me that, man. We need words. We don't-
Çanakkale.
Çankırı is the center of the universe, you know. People should know. Yeah, right.
All right, man. Look, for your sake, Çankırı.
A place in Ankara, Onur's
No, Onur's homeland.
hometown.
Utopia, man. Challenge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The D, again, very simple. Dingil.
Yeah, how will you translate that?
It depends. There's different dinghies, right? There's the dinghy that we refer to as the
Let me check.
in the axis of the car, right?
Yeah.
And then there's dinghy, and we've got Onur, right?
Shock?
Dingil.
Sorry?
No, it's not shocks. Shocks is something else.
No. Dingil is axle.
Axel.
And the reason why I use this is it means axle, but if you use it in an
In
informal
slang
way.
Turkish, in slang Turkish, it's kind of swearing.
It's a very light way of. It's like saying tool. I think tool would be the right equivalent for that in English.
Hassan Abe, I think they will charge you extra for those lessons.
Eşkıya, right? Can't get used to these. What do you call them? The brackets.
I've never heard this word. What's eşkıya?
Eşkıya. Eşkıya is basically, very simply put, bandit, right? Eşkıya, electric. So,
Enter.
Example.
best
Example.
is the E in the word best.
Yeah, best.
Best. Yeah.
Desk, right? Fair. Again.
Fırtına.
Fırtına. That's a good one. Storm, right?
Football.
Fair. Football. Fool. Again, the G here is very simple. After this, it kind of gets tricky. So G, gimme,
Gemi.
right? Ship. Just like game. I'm just going to keep it a game. So the yumuşak G is interesting. I'd like to use bağlama. Bağlamak. Let's go with
By the way,
bağlama.
we don't use yumuşak G at the beginning. We can't use it.
That's also a very useful tool. Because the yumuşak G or the soft G in Turkish, its essential use is to differentiate between different words. For example, I'm trying to think of a word that is very similar, but just has the addition of the soft G. Onur. Bağlama değil de.
Da.
Yeah,
Da.
da.
Can be.
Da. That's very simply put. Da.
How do you know this?
Hassan Abe.
Well, you know, there's something romantic about mountains.
Yeah, Mr.
Either that or this guy, you watched the movie. Yeah. And then,
Ba.
Ağlamak.
yeah, bağlama, yeah, which is a Turkish instrument. But essentially what you see going on here is, without the G, these words would be pronounced da, ya, balama, instead of bağlama. So essentially what it does is it kind of extends the vowel that comes before it. So da is mountain, right? Ya is oil. Bağlama is a Turkish instrument, which its closest relative is really the lute. There's no English example we can give because I don't necessarily think it exists.
In English.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move forward. The H. Any fun ideas here, guys? Efendim?
Hayat, life.
Hayat. Life. Again.
Hırsız.
Hope.
At hırsız.
Efendim?
At hırsız.
At hırsızı mı?
At hırsızı.
I.
So this is where it gets tricky. Iğdır. Iğdır.
Let's not go with locations. Let's not go with locations. That's a good example. I'm trying to stay away from location. I want to use practical use.
Easy
Sorry?
is with the other one.
Islak.
It's luck.
Islak.
Islak. Wet.
Yeah.
Right?
Not islak. Islak.
Not exact, not islak, because islak is, to the best of my knowledge, not even a Turkish word. It doesn't exist. Islak, wet. In English, the closest equivalent you can get in the English use would be, do we even have that? Lida, you got to help me out here.
I mean, not in that pronunciation, not with that specific like sound. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing.
It's very unique.
Even in Arabic, like just like there would be you would be really hard pressed to find that specific sound. It's just a really heavy
Yeah.
uslak,
Yeah.
uslak.
Yeah, basically, it's like um, we'll provide an update if we come up with anything.
So this is the difference. This one is e.
Exactly. İyilik. Hello, buddy. İyilik.
İyilik.
İyilik. I'll give another example because this is pretty İyilik. Just the fact that it's got so many E's in there, you know, the I's. I'm going to go with imdat.
İşkembe. İşkembe.
İşkembe. Don't bring Çankırı to this conversation, fam. Good. İyilik. Goodness. Help. So here we have an English equivalent, right? İyilik, isteme,
Cim.
iyi, istemek.
Cimdeki i.
Gym. No, that's more like a gym. Gym. You do. The thing is, like the fact that they have these two different I's. I guess the English equivalent is the combination of and e, right?
Combination.
Is
Combination i. Combination here.
Combination. It's
Combo.
basically it. İyilik. E. Yeah,
I don't think you need to give an example in English because this is like the e here for this one, iyilik, is like if you were doing a double e, right? Eel.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's a very good one. Thank you,
Feel.
Beta.
Feel.
E.
This I with the dot is like a double e in the English language.
Basically, yeah.
Or even the ea, the beat, you know, seat, beat.
Exactly. Seats. Exactly. Either the double E or the EA. Meat.
Yeah.
E. Right?
Meat,
E.
peach, peak.
İyilik. İmdat. Exactly.
İmdat.
So it's basically the sound, not necessarily the duration. So it's not like meat. It's not
like in English we say Iran, right?
Iran.
In Turkish it's Iran.
Iran. Basically. Exactly.
If you're from Texas, you say Iran.
It's kind of like that. Iran, Iraq. So,
Jandarma. Jandarma.
Jeton.
Jeton. I like jeton, but provide me with the English translation to jeton, Abueda.
Token. I'm a jeton master.
Jeton master, exactly. So, jeton. In the English language, examples. Guys, you gotta pitch in.
Joke. Joke.
No, that's the C. That's the J. Joke.
Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus. Is it really?
Even in English, like it depends really on the accent because in English we don't really have a soft J, right? We say jump, or we say Jesus, or we say John, right?
Exactly.
So we don't really have that soft J, but depending on people's like accents, they might say Jean.
I think it's a bit like genre.
Genre.
Genre.
He's learning.
The academic.
Genre. Exactly.
Genre.
And genre, if I'm not mistaken, that's a French word, right? The interesting fact about this letter is I'm not too sure if there are exceptions to this, but to the best of my knowledge, Onur, you might want to correct me on this. Any Turkish word that has the letter J in it is derived, it's derived from the French language. It's an addition during the Ottoman Empire.
I think we don't have that much word including J.
Not too much, but the only ones that are of French influence. Gendarme, jeton,
Jandarma.
gymnastique. And it sounds kind of French too, if you think about it, right?
Jargon.
Jargon.
Jargon. Exactly.
So you're not the only one who knows fancy words, Hassan Ahmed.
So we've got K.
Kitap.
Let me just, I have my OCD is kicking in. So K, kitap.
Kur. Şeyde ortada ne var?
I'd like to use this. I'm going to give an example. So we've got kul, which is servant, right? And then we've got kül. I'm trying to integrate the different
Yeah.
words here as well. So kul is servant. Kül is ash. And this is why the Turkish people have a difficult time understanding if your pronunciation is messed up. You think you're saying, let's say, kul, right? But if you mix up the U in there and you're not saying kul, but you're saying kül, and you're speaking to someone and you say something like kulun olayım, right? Like I'd love to be your servant, you know. It's not in the literal sense, but it's a form of gratitude, kulun olayım, right? But instead of saying kulun olayım, and you come out and say külüm olayım, right? The guy on the other end is going to be like, bro, like why, why are you doing this to me, you know? And then the brain just shuts off, and then they look at you like, anlamadım, which is basically what happened to you the other day in the dönerci.
Yeah.
Okay. Craving.
That was a good example.
Kite. So in the Turkish language, so in the English language, to get this, the Turkish ka, the K, can either come from the C or the K. It depends on how you use it, right?
And the C in Turkish doesn't make the K sound.
It does
not like in English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lale.
It's a name, it's a word, and it means, oh no, we've got 10 minutes left. So we've got tulip, right?
Oh, you got a lot of letters to go through, man.
Lol. Let's speed it up maybe. Minibus.
Monty. Minibus.
Minibus, right? Is it minibus? Like what is that like? Like in Turkey, right? Like in Turkey,
yeah, like minibus.
Like the minibus is for...
But the way you pronounce it is minibus because of the U with the dots.
Yeah, minibus. So minibus.
It's like MINIBUS. N.
And
Nilüfer. Neşe.
Right?
Yeah.
Joy.
Starch? Oh, joy, sorry.
Nice.
Nice.
Opera.
Opera.
Which is interestingly enough, the English is spelled exactly the same. Yeah. Opera. So.
No, oh, you can write opera, say opera.
Basically,
but
the English is
the opera and the Turkish, the O is different.
In the English pronunciation, the closest equivalent would be or, right?
Or
only.
Obstruction.
Exactly. Only. So right?
Özgür.
Özgür. Free. But let's go with özgürlük, yeah? Because like it means free, but it's more like freedom, not like free as in like, rah, take this and it's free, yeah? There's really no pronunciation in the English language.
Let's run through these, man. We're running out of time. 7.5 minutes.
Pilot, right? Pilots, very simply put.
Resim, picture.
Resim, yeah. Picture.
Rival,
yeah. Most of these letters are very similar. So, S, sessizlik, right? Silence. Sessizlik. And the thing is, when I'd like to also add this is really important. So, if it was not sessizlik, if it was like ses, which is sound, I'd like to throw that in as well. ses, sessizlik. Ses means sound. Sessizlik means silence. So when you get the like one S or one K or one L, depends on the constant really. What you get is a very simple ses, kek, right? Nem, men. But when you have double consonants here, it's basically you're emphasizing. So ses, without the double L, you would get sessizlik, sessizlik. It doesn't sound the same, but with the double L, you don't get sessizlik, you get sessizlik.
With the double S, you mean?
Yeah.
Double S.
Sessizlik.
Pays.
It's almost like a compound word, you know. It's like two parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this word is like three parts, but we'll get to that later.
Exactly. So, sound. Real simple. Şe.
Şımarık.
Şımarık.
Şımarıyorlar.
Right. Şmak.
Yeah, same thing.
Çay.
Okay, T minus 5 minutes 47 seconds.
Televizyon.
Televizyon.
Titriyor.
Television. Right.
Yeah, same television.
Yeah, but I could. Well, yeah. You.
Uslu.
Uslu.
Or uyanık.
Uyuyor.
Susuz. Right? Uslu means calm, if I'm not mistaken. Susuz means
Dry.
Yeah, dry.
I was thinking if I could replace it.
Susuzluk, dry. Kıtlık. Or
Yeah.
kuraklık, right? Kuraklık and
I like the fact that hold up.
Without water, without moisture.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a word. We're going to get to that in the time to come.
Yeah,
but
this
just-
is enough. Uslu calm is enough.
Yeah. Uslu, calm. So
Uber.
Yeah, Uber.
Uber.
Cool.
Ooh, yeah. You get that as well. Cool. Ooh, Uber, uslu. Yeah.
Üzüm. Üzgün.
Great. Üzüm.
All right.
Yeah, we don't got that either, right?
We don't have.
So we got B.
Viraj.
Viraj, vizyon, right? Viraj was apex?
Viraj is like a wide turn. I learned that in the driving exam.
Did you pass your driving exam?
You
Yeah.
passed it, right?
Yeah.
Viraj, twist.
Congratulations abi.
Viraj, yeah, it's a bend. It's a bend
It
on
was
the road.
interesting to take it in Turkish.
It was interesting to drive Turkish, by the way. Vigilance.
I'm gonna wait until I get my license to drive, of course.
Okay, so I just need to.
We just need 2 letters, bro. We need a little tiny little box, cute little box.
This is all we need right here, bro. I got you.
3 minutes and counting.
Okay,
Yeah.
V Y
Yağmur.
Yağmur.
Yağmur. Wow, that has a lot of stuff we went over today.
Does.
The A, the U, and the yumuşak G. Yağmur.
Why?
Yeah. Yes. So and then we've got the final Z.
Zaman. Yok. Zümrüt.
Azab. Zümrüt. Zümrüt was emerald, right?
I don't know.
Oh no, I don't think it was.
Less than 3 minutes. 2 minutes we have to finish.
Yeah, it is emerald. Why am I doubting myself?
Zeal. Nationalist.
What block is he going to? A block al -3?
Zeal.
-3? Okay, I'm going now.
So this is basically what we have Okay. There we go. So these are the letters, and these are the practical uses of the Turkish language or the Turkish alphabet. So do we need to come up with an assignment? Should we give you homework, Hasan abi?
Less than a
Go
minute.
ahead. Anything that speeds up the learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Abi, you
So I
should
guess what we could go ahead.
try to pronounce these words correctly, these letters correctly, and
Next time,
these
please.
words as well.
Okay.
So
Sounds good, guys. That was
Will do.
great.
thank you for joining our session.
Next
And-
lesson in 2 days.
Yeah.